Deadpool 2 is happening.
Deadpool 2 is happening, sort of. Most recently, the news was Tim Miller, the director of the first one, left the project because of creative differences with Ryan Reynolds, and everyone is like, man, who should direct it now? And for whatever reason, there is a change.org petition trying to get Quentin Tarantino to direct Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Which is sort of a cool idea in theory, but it's also a terrible idea completely.
Yeah.
So here's why that shouldn't happen. First of all, Quentin Tarantino is all about his personal mark on a film, which is not respecting source material. Like, he's going to go in there and be like, all right, what's this Quentin Tarantino movie about this weird healing ninja look like? Which, first of all, doesn't sound like something he'd want to cover at all, but he'd go in there and he'd screw it up. I love his stuff, but he would go in and make it his own thing, and that wouldn't really be paying homage to the original comic stuff. So there's that. Then, of course, there's the fact that Deadpool is all about, contemporary comics and pop culture. And Tarantino's always been kind of like a weird old film nerd who's making nods to esoteric movies that you've totally seen or not seen or forgotten about or whatever.
I mean, very specifically recently, he had some not so kind words to say about Netflix's Luke Cage, saying that he would have loved it so much more if it was set in the 70s and it was more about blaxploitation. And it was like, well, yeah, but they made a modern version of the character, so we kind of have an idea of what his take on something would be like that, you know?
Then, of course, there's the fact that obviously, special effects don't make a movie, but the action sequences in Deadpool that Tim Miller did were awesome because of Tim Miller's background in CG. Before that, he had been making those CG trailers for games.
Yeah.
He founded Blur Studios. He knew what he was doing with a large budget and a small amount of time, and then when he was given a large amount of time and a small budget, I think he knew how to kind of budget accordingly. Tarantino's the kind of guy who can get a pretty big budget for his movie, and he's like, yeah, let's shoot it on large film. Let's do large, expansive, establishing shots, and let's hire, respected actors. He's not really an FX guy. Even the special effects in Kill Bill were kind of just fake blood everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, FX is incredibly important to a character like Deadpool. I would say to the movie franchise specifically that demo reel they put out a few years ago is what generated all the audience excitement and got it sort of the momentum going to help that movie become one of the highest grossing of the year.
Yeah, and obviously if you attached Quentin Tarantino to something like Deadpool 2, it would be a lot of hype, but that said, Deadpool was Tim Miller's first movie, so he was really trying to prove something. I think that's part of the reason it was so awesome, is that he really gave a crap. At this point, Tarantino doesn't need to prove anything to the public. He can do whatever he wants. He's always been kind of a rude dude. He's kind of off the cuff, and he doesn't really make movies that are appeasing any kind of fan. He's not about fan service. And obviously movies should be the director's call, but at the same time, with something like Deadpool, it's you could just make an original ninja movie.
Yeah.
So that said, if you insist on giving an X-Men property to Quentin Tarantino, I propose you give him Dazzler.
Dazzler.
Yes, Dazzler.
That Dazzler.
This Dazzler. The totally ridiculous Alison Blair disco mutant from the late 1970s, who almost appeared in a movie when Marvel was sort of way too coked out in the late 70s, early 80s. That movie would have had Kiss and a bunch of people in it. The Bee Gees probably. I don't know. It was pretty insane.
This screams Tarantino. I love this.
This would be a cross between Kill Bill and Jackie Brown, essentially. I mean, this is a woman who absorbs disco music and converts it into energy that she uses to shoot at people. This will never happen. This will never happen. If it happens, I will cut off one of my fingers and eBay it, which they don't even allow anymore, but whatever. We'll talk to them. We'll work out a special deal. We'll do it for charity. On that note, Quentin Tarantino's Dazzler. Where's the change.org petition for that, huh?
Make that happen.